Welcome to the Gaze into Cinema YouTube channel. The Path of Tears, 1831 to 1838, a nerve-wracking constrained departure of local Americans. Introduction. The Path of Tears, a dim part in American history, addresses the constrained expulsion of local American clans from their tribal terrains in the southeastern U.S. to Indian region west of the Mississippi waterway. This extensive authentic record digs into the beginnings, the nerve-wracking excursion, and the getting through results of the Path of Tears, during which an expected 15,000 to 70,000 local Americans lost their lives. The narrative of the Path of Tears fills in as a powerful sign of the torment and unfairness persevered by local people group during the 19th 100 years. The Path of Tears, crossing from 1831 to 1838, is a troubling and terrible episode in American history that undeniable the constrained expulsion of various local American clans from their country. This broad history uncovers the different features of this savage occasion, examining the verifiable foundation, the political setting, the encounters of the clans in question, and the enduring results it left on local Americans in the U.S. as a country. The America of the mid-19th 100 years, the mid-19th century saw quick toward the west extension driven by the developing interest for land, powered by the thriving cotton industry. This development put huge squeeze on local American regions in the southeastern U.S. The Indian expulsion demonstration of 1830, the defining moment prompting the Path of Tears, was the entry of the Indian Expulsion Act in 1830, endorsed into regulation by President Andrew Jackson. This regulation gave the national government the power to arrange the expulsion of local American clans from their familial grounds to lands west of the Mississippi waterway, fundamentally in Indian domain, present-day Oklahoma. Andrew Jackson's impact. President Andrew Jackson assumed an essential part in the advancement of the strategy of constrained evacuation. Jackson's targets were to get land for white pilgrims and to propel the financial interests of the U.S. The obstruction of the Cherokee country, featuring the Cherokee country, this part reveals insight into their decided endeavors to oppose constrained evacuation through legitimate means. The eminent Worcester versus Georgia High legal dispute, which perceived Cherokee power, remains as a basic background. Insubordination of legitimate orders. In spite of the High Court's ruling for the Cherokees, President Jackson challenged the decision, sabotaging the standards of balanced governance in American administration. This disobedience set up for the merciless expulsion of the Cherokee and different clans. The settlement of New Dakota, endorsed in 1835 by a little group of Cherokees, not addressing most of the country, stays a petulant place of conversation. This arrangement surrendered Cherokee lands and established the legitimate starting point for their constrained evacuation. The Grizzly Excursion. This segment dives into the terrible circumstances persevered by the Cherokee and different clans during the constrained evacuation. The excursion was described by openness to the components, craving, sickness, and the deficiency of thousands of lives, leaving a path of misfortune and passing. Anguish and misfortune. The Path of Tears achieved inconceivable affliction and misfortune for local American people group. Families were destroyed, and innumerable lives were lost because of the ruthless circumstances persevered during the constrained walk. Disturbance of culture. The constrained expulsion brought about the interruption of the perplexing social texture of local American social orders. Networks were evacuated from their hereditary grounds, hallowed destinations, and conventional lifestyles, bringing about a significant and enduring social disturbance. Mental and social injury. This part investigates the getting through mental injury and the social results experienced by local American people group. The injury of constrained expulsion, combined with the deficiency of friends and family, passed on profound and enduring scars that keep on influencing ages of local Americans. Flexibility and variation. Notwithstanding the difficulties looked during the Path of Tears, local American people group showed noteworthy versatility. They adjusted to new conditions in the terrains distributed to them in the West, endured, and kept on protecting their way of life and character. Unsettled shameful acts. The tradition of the Path of Tears perseveres, as local American people group keep on wrestling with issues connected with land freedoms, power, monetary open doors, and foundational treacheries. This part underscores the getting through results of the constrained evacuation. Remembrance and schooling. The significance of recalling the Path of Tears through historical centers, commemorations, and instructive projects is highlighted in this segment. Recognizing and understanding this dim section in American history is essential for advancing mending, compromise, equity, and a more comprehensive future. Dedicatory endeavors to recall the path of tears have been continuous, with historical centers, commemorations, and instructive drives committed to saving the memory of this sad occasion. Call for compromise. The path of tears remains as a strong indication of the misery and treacheries persevered by local American people group during the 1900 years. Recognizing this dull section in American history isn't just an issue of verifiable importance, yet additionally a call for compromise and a pledge to guaranteeing that such treacheries are rarely rehashed. And the path of tears stays a frightening and sad section in American history, requesting extensive assessment and understanding. It embodies the U.S.'s forceful toward the West development, the negligence for lawful commands, and the disastrous effect on local American people group. Perceiving this dim section is fundamental for recognizing the country's previous treacheries and making progress toward compromise, equity, and an additional comprehensive and impartial future. The path of tears is a solemn indication of the enduring of local Americans and the significance of tending to verifiable treacheries.